Hello all, today's video is about Beyond. It's a gaming energy drink. The flavour will be mango, pineapple and blood orange. Today is chest day. We'll be also talking about the JRE podcast with Robert Bigelow and the book I am reading, Alfred the Great, the man who made England. That's like an artificial smell. I don't know, but that does not smell nice whatsoever. It's like an orange pouch. Yeah, that smells awful. Beyond. They have a Mortal Kombat one, I know, and they have a cool shaker. So let's go through a few things here while I shake up the shaker. As you can see, I weigh 14.12 stone. This is also after I've drunk a load of liquids, so probably about 14.10. Just going through a few things of data. I was 14.6 last week. I don't know how I put on that much weight, but I guess a load of fried chicken didn't help me. I was 13 stone about September time. You can see I have a Paris 10 shirt on. That was a 10-mile run with a 1,000-meter elevation. I will make a video about why I gained a load of weight, mainly laziness. But as you can see, 15 stone 4 was my beginning journey last July. I actually was about 16.7 at some point too. I mean, as you can see, try not to spill it. It's all foamy. You can see here, I'm trying to get past the foam. But I can't. It's okay. Nothing magical. You know what it tastes like? It tastes, I mean, it's probably a no-brainer. It's mango, pineapple, blood orange. It tastes like the really cheap orange and pineapple, like Co-op. If you live in England, you know what Co-op is. It's just it's a food shop. A convenience store, not convenience store. I don't know what the fuck you call it. A food shop. A blue screen there. Yeah, it tastes like that. It tastes like that. But it has how much caffeine does it have? It has 150 milligrams. It's not nice. I wouldn't recommend this flavour whatsoever. Straight up, like I don't know how that gets past quality control. Okay, now it's gone down. You can see it literally looks like exactly like orange. Let's go and try not to spill it. You can kind of see. Mediocre. Mediocre at best, sunshine. Mediocre at best. So let's talk about Beyond. I actually don't really like when companies always hit the gaming community. Okay, I am a sucker for this. I do have a Secret Labs chair. Yes, I have bought Sneak, G Fuel and a Park, and also have new packages from G Fuel and Sneak to review while working out. I know this isn't for per se exercise, but I'm not going to personally take a energy formula drink or whatever just for gaming. I'm not a competitive gamer. That isn't for me. I'll just rather drink coffee. So I'm not going to knock the company Beyond themselves. They seem like a good company to buy from, and all the reviews I've seen have been quite beneficial to them. I don't really get any effects from most things. Supplements, creatine, turmeric, maca roots. I don't get any effects. I don't feel anything. I feel nothing, brother. And so when it comes to this caffeine, I'm not going to knock the company if it doesn't have any effect on me. Look, I'm even rubbing my eyes because I'm bloody tired. This should take, I reckon, about 10 minutes to get into your system. But for me, I was a little bit awake. But I was, personally, I have more issues to deal with that I don't think Beyond will help, i.e. a actual sleep routine, which I will be doing. I will be waking up at 7:30 to go training and to get on with my day instead of just waking up at whatever time because of university and not working. I need to take advantage of this and actually get into a routine, and this will probably have more effects with me. So the actual taste of this product is bloody awful. It's one of the worst things that I've ever seen in my life. Now, the other flavors are nice, and I will review them on this channel. It's just that this flavor in particular is like a cheap pineapple and orange. Now, this clip here is literally the closest to being my ancestors from thousands of years ago. I am literally an ape.
Still pulling up on them, you know. Hell years deep in this shit, man. For the conspiracy squad. If they weren't in and out themselves or drilling for real, will LD ever have blown? Like the man that got the last upway wet, that's something we never will know. Conspiracy talks about weapons or phones, walk like Liverpool, never alone. Live lavish and Joe made raps in the cell, but life's just better at home. These old times, we in the case, we ain't got nothing to say. Someone just dropped and we're getting the blame. Got enough on my plate.
Back to normalness. The actual texture of this drink is very good. It's very smooth, and from my knowledge there wasn't any gunk at the bottom like a lot of energy drinks have in powdered form. The drink itself was fine, it went down easy. It's just the flavor was awful. I would personally get rid of it. I can't see how anyone would like this, but then again, everyone has different taste buds. People can and will like it. They obviously have it for a reason, but for me, one of the worst powders I've ever had in my life. And for energy, once again, I can't fault it. I'm not quite sure. I am very, very off when it comes to energy. Nothing really affects me. Energy drinks don't affect me, but I think if I get my nutrition right and my sleep, I think it will have more of an effect on me. I don't think it's solely just the energy drinks, because it does have 150 milligrams of caffeine, so I can't really question that. But I will say it didn't really increase my energy whatsoever. Once again, I'm a weird human being, so I can't say that for everyone else. So the Joe Rogan podcast with Robert Bigelow, they mainly spoke about UFOs and his fascination, Robert's fascination with UFOs and potential other intelligent life in the galaxy. I don't really buy what he says as such. He's kind of a billionaire that, I don't know, he just speaks at you. He's not really coming with any facts as such. He just has his opinion, and he's kind of skeptical. Like, he kind of like holds himself back. He brings up Joe Rogan having like this deadpan stare and like not really believing him when it comes to, I think, a psychic or something like that. But Joe Rogan says, look, this is literally, I do this to everyone. That's my natural face. And he's like, oh, okay. But he just seems a bit skeptical. Maybe he's just not confident in talking about it, even though he believes in it a lot, because it is undermined in society to even think about extra intelligence out there or UFOs. They did speak about that too, about near-death experiences, people undermining that with UFOs and sightings. But the most important part I got from this podcast was Joe Rogan talk about the abandonment of the ego, and I think it's incredibly important. It's so important. Talk about the abandonment of the ego, because today was the first time I ran in quite a while, and I'm overweight. I stopped multiple times. I didn't run primarily due to laziness and also the ego. And having this ego is a failure to the consciousness. It's so detrimental to be able to recognize that ego is really good for making you successful and wanting to progress. But one of the key motivations of ego that you should have is the fascination of problem solving, not what other people may think, i.e. me going for a run and everyone looking at me like, oh my god, that fat guy's stopping, ha 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 ha. I'm doing more than them. And anyone that runs or lifts weights will understand that everyone starts somewhere. Like, for example, I can bench 100 kg. It's not incredibly impressive, but it's impressive for me. Not a lot of people can do that while going to the gym. The same with running. September me could run 10 miles in a week in 1,000 meter elevation, i.e. the power is 10, but Alex in 2021 in March can't even run a mile without stopping because his little cankles hurt and his feet and his toes hurt and legs hurt. So it's just about progression and putting the ego out the door to be able to progress. And I think that's the most important part of the podcast. I think it was really good and useful advice from Joe Rogan. I mean, the whole podcast itself was kind of interesting. I didn't really believe what he was saying or really going on to what he was saying as such, just being Robert. I think he was not as confident. And I'm surprised because he's a billionaire, he's a tycoon in the hotel industry. But I enjoyed the podcast overall.
No! I didn't fucking record my set! What?
And now to the book, Alfred the Great, The Man Who Made England. I mean, if you know anything about English history, you will know about Alfred the Great, an absolute saviour to England, beating the Vikings at the Battle of Edington to really secure Wessex throne for the English throne, really, to protect the Anglo-Saxons at the time. What's fascinating, I've only read a couple of pages because I read it late last night. I'm going to butcher his name, but it's Athelini. That is where he was held up in the marshes when he was escaping the Vikings, the Danes. I mean, how crazy is that? Like, I need to go there. I went to where they fought the Battle of Edington was. They're not quite sure, obviously, because it's so long ago. Even though Alfred the Great did write his chronicles, there's just so much where we don't know exactly where the battle was fought. But actually looking at these marshes and back then, there was a king that was running away from invaders, and he had to reclaim pretty much England to make sure the Anglo-Saxons were preserved and still alive and not just being conquered by the Dane invaders is crazy. And I can't wait to read more of this book. So that's all I really know at the moment from the book. But so far, really good. Only a couple of pages in. I will be trying to get through this within the month. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And then I'll move on to an audiobook by Bob Lazar. Dear me. I was slipping off the bench at the end there.